Hi everyone, thank you for coming tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to be talking to y'all for a few minutes about the benefits of breastfeeding. It is recommended that mothers who breastfeed do so for a minimum of 6 months and up to a year or longer. And as you all know, I have breastfed both of my children. I've been breastfeeding Allie for the past year, and I breastfed Mason until he was about 6 months old. So during that time, I did a lot of my own research, and nothing beats personal experience as far as learning goes. And what I've learned is that there's a lot of health and economic benefits to breastfeeding versus formula feeding, not just for the child, but for the mother as well. First, I'll go over some of the health benefits of breastfeeding. Then I'll talk about how much more convenient it is, and then we'll do a cost comparison between the two. I'm not going to be bashing formula in any way because I think it is a fantastic invention for those who can't breastfeed, such as in the case of adoption or a mother whose milk doesn't come in, or just there's different reasons that one might not be able to breastfeed. But however, it has been scientifically proven that breastfeeding is better for your child than formula feeding. It's kind of like how a hamburger would keep you from starving, but a salad is healthier for you and gets the job done too. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, there are several different health benefits for the mother and child for breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is associated with 36% reduced risk of SIDS. Obesity rates in adolescence and adulthood are reduced by 15 to 30% in children who breastfeed versus those who don't. And breastfeeding can lead to fewer return hospital visits in the first year and lower mortality rates for children who are born premature. One benefit that I think is pretty cool is how a breastfed child who is sick gets more antibodies when they are sick versus when they're not. When the child nurses, a little bit of the saliva is taken in by the mother's body, and then the mother's body sort of reads the saliva and adjusts the number of antibodies in the milk given to the child to help them through their sickness, kind of like medicine. There's also lower rates of ear infections and lower respiratory infections in children who breastfeed versus those who formula feed. As far as benefits to mothers, mothers have a lower risk of breast and ovarian cancers, and if they are breastfeeding directly after they've given birth, their uterus will contract back to its normal size a lot faster than if they were not breastfeeding. Now that all the science and statistics and boring stuff's out of the way, let's talk about how much more convenient it is to breastfeed than to formula feed. In the beginning, breastfeeding can be difficult, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, but the benefits of breastfeeding far outweigh the difficulties in the beginning. Imagine you've just come home from the hospital with your beautiful newborn baby, and you're in pain from giving birth. It takes so much energy just to simply stand up or sit down. So imagine it's 3 a.m. and your baby has woken up again after only sleeping for like an hour or two, and you are exhausted. Do you want to have to get up out of bed while you're in pain, go into the kitchen, mix and warm a bottle of formula, worry if it's the right temperature, making sure that you've got the scoop to water ratio right, or do you want to just be able to sit up in the bed, grab your baby, and start nursing, and that's it? I think that breastfeeding would be a lot simpler way to go. You don't have to worry about washing or sanitizing a lot of bottles all the time. You don't have to worry about packing enough formula whenever you leave the house and enough water. You don't have to wonder how you're going to warm up that milk when you're out in public. You can simply just nurse anywhere you are. There's zero waste. You have nothing to throw away, no formula containers, no leftover milk that you find a week later that might stink. You don't have to worry about that. And while all of these benefits that I've previously mentioned are wonderful, I think that the biggest incentive for a lot of people would be the cost difference between the two. One small can of Gerber formula at Kroger costs $17. That's a 12-ounce can. It may last about 2 to 3 days depending on how much formula your baby takes in. So $17 per can, estimate about 2 cans a week. That's $34 a week. That means that that baby would consume close to $2,000 worth of formula in 1 year if they never breastfeed. Breastfeeding is free. The only cost that I could come up with for breastfeeding might be the food and vitamins that a mother would need to properly nourish herself so that she's properly nourishing the baby. And any comfort items that she may want, such as a nursing bra or a pillow to be comfortable while she's nursing, or lanolin cream or anything like that, any comfort items. And if a mother does decide to pump, a lot of insurance companies will provide a pump to her for free. I know that mine did. You just go to a website and order one and they send it. And however, if their insurance company does not provide the pump, they cost anywhere from $50 to $300 depending on the brand and type of pump that you get, which is a very small price compared to that $2,000 in a year of formula. And now we've talked about some of the many benefits of breastfeeding health-wise, and we've talked about how much easier it is, how much more cost-effective it is, and this info can help you with either your own breastfeeding journey, or if you know someone, you can give them this information and help them along their breastfeeding journey. For all these reasons and more, breastfeeding is better than formula feeding. Next time you or someone you know is faced with the decision to either breastfeed or formula feed, just remember, breast is best. Thank you.